from Southwest Florida's news leader. This is Wink News at 11.
Now on the Wink News Nightbeat, thousands could be without natural gas tonight. Homeowners and businesses are being impacted following a gas leak.
Arrests made. It's been 2 days since a shooting at a 7-Eleven in Gateway. What we're learning about the suspect.
And Joe Biden returns to Philadelphia for a campaign rally. This as he leads the pack of Democrats in the Keystone State.
And happy Saturday night, everyone. We've had a beautiful Saturday afternoon and evening. Had a few small showers pop up over the last few hours. Those have since dissipated. And now watching a few very small ones moving away from the 10,000 Islands as well as Everglades City. All this green right here is actually ground clutter, the radar beam bending back to the surface of the earth. So not much rain across Collier County for tonight. We are staying nice and dry. We start dry tomorrow, but better rain chances in store tomorrow late in the afternoon and especially in the evening. We'll take a closer look when I come back.
Thousands of natural gas customers from South Fort Myers to Marco Island could be impacted tonight by a gas leak.
And it all started when a construction crew hit a gas line light. Let's take a look at the impact here. It shut down traffic on a portion of US 41 for hours, and part of the roadway remains closed tonight. The Nightbeat's Morgan Reiner is live in South Fort Myers. And Morgan, what does it look like right now?
Well, it's pretty dark outside, but my cameraman is going to zoom in for you so that you can see at least a dozen crew members are working tirelessly to fix the main. I've spoken to several businesses and owners who say the gas leak is affecting them. They kept asking me if I know what time the gas would be shut off and turned back on. It was a game of risk for some of them. How long can they keep cooking and feeding customers until the gas is shut off?
Outside of my deck at my house, condo actually, reading the paper, and all of a sudden a noise.
Ken Webster immediately went inside his house.
I had no idea what it was, but it was loud enough that I went inside, closed the doors and windows to avoid the noise.
When he found out it was a gas leak, he was immediately thankful.
And we're probably pretty lucky it didn't ignite.
But for some like Daryl, who could not get back to her home in Island Park for hours, she was nervous.
I'm really worried about the dogs there, and I have a bird who lives out on the patio, and I hope he's okay because they're pretty sensitive to gas and things like that.
And for others like Samuel Tahara in the restaurant business, they are restless.
We didn't open till about 3. We lost a decent amount of business today because of this.
Gas is constantly going off and on for businesses like Rusty's Raw Bar and Grill right across from the main break.
Hopefully they could fix it soon. We'll be up and running.
In the meantime, they will serve drinks and food that does not need to be cooked. San Carlos Fire says gas for up to 15,000 customers could be impacted from US 41 near Island Park all the way to Marco Island. And right now, crews are standing by just in case a fire does ignite. Northbound on 41 is still shut down from Alico to Island Park. So trust Wink News to stay on top of this and let you know as soon as that road opens back up. Live on the Nightbeat, Morgan Reiner, Wink News Now.
Well, thank you, Morgan. And this Lehigh Acres man arrested in connection to an attempted robbery at a 7-Eleven in Gateway. 23-year-old Malcolm Smith was charged with robbery without a firearm or weapon. The attempted robbery happened here at the 7-Eleven parking lot off of Gateway Boulevard and Griffin Drive Thursday night. Smith is in Lee County Jail tonight with no bond.
Crews are remaining on the scene of this brush fire in Bonita Springs tonight. Just take a look at this plume of smoke. It broke out this afternoon along Walden Center between Renaissance Boulevard and Tamiami Trail. Smoke could be seen for miles. The 5-acre fire was kept to a wooded area, which firefighters say made it easier to fight. No buildings or homes were ever in danger.
And one person is dead tonight after a parachute accident. It happened today in DeSoto County near Northeast Highway 17 and Northeast Carson Street. You can see the parachute there and the engine crushed. The DeSoto County Sheriff's Office hasn't released the victim's name yet. You can trust Wink News to let you know the cause of the crash when we find out.
Police are investigating a suspected shooting outside Looker's Strip Club. That's right here on Fowler Street between Colonial Boulevard and Winkler Avenue. Police blocked off the parking lot with crime scene tape just before 2 o'clock this morning. A witness tells us 2 friends were hanging out after the club closed, and at one point, one of them shot the other in the shoulder and took off. We're still working to confirm that with investigators. Police and a helicopter also appeared to be searching nearby. Trust Wink News to let you know if they find anyone.
And this man at the center of a murder case that spans several Florida counties is found guilty. A jury found Daniel Davenport guilty of second-degree murder. Collier County investigators say he killed Sergio Hostins in Naples Park. Construction workers found his body wrapped in carpeting, AC duct wrap, and plastic bags. Davenport went on the run, but investigators caught up with him in Orlando shortly after the murder.
From runoff to algae, the waters around Southwest Florida have a lot of damaging materials in them. Well, today, water samples were collected to try and figure out ways to clean it all up. As Wink News reporter Anika Henniger tells us, volunteers spent part of their day to see what they could find.
This Saturday morning, people on Fort Myers Beach collected something so important they used any way possible to get it. By bike, like Robin Gornto.
They gave us clean vials. I had to go wade in up to my waist, then bend down and collect it up past my elbow. Seal it off, keep it cool, bring it back.
By boat, and even with a baby.
But it's cool to bring them down here and be able to show them that, hey, when you were 2, you were helping out too.
About 50 volunteers helped collect water samples around Fort Myers Beach, including the Gulf and Estero Bay waters.
Everybody knows one another and everybody wants to help.
So Florida Gulf Coast University's Water School, the Mound House, and NOAA teamed up with the community to collect data from 44 spots about a mile apart.
So it saves a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of resources having the volunteers.
Students and researchers tested one sample from each site on location while educating volunteers about the whole process.
I'd like to see what the water here is all about, what's in it, make sure it's safe.
They sent another sample from each site to the lab to test for nutrients in the water.
That will be what can cause blooms of algae.
They'll use the results from Saturday to compare to results they plan to collect months later. With this, organizers say the community and researchers can pinpoint areas to focus on in the work to improve Southwest Florida's water quality. Anika Henniger, Wink News Now.
The Mound House said as part of this project, they're hoping to expand teaching about water quality to local elementary schools, and they'll need more volunteers for their next sampling in a few months. Also happening today, Lake O releases. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says they're stepping up flows to the Caloosahatchee. These releases have been linked to the algae crisis and can change the color of our waters at the coast. The Corps spent the winter trying to lower the lake level to prevent massive releases during rainy season.
And one man is in jail tonight after he was spotted walking around a Miami Metro rail station with a weapon. It happened around 3:30 this afternoon. The man was taken into custody without a problem. However, investigators have not said what type of weapon the man had. It isn't clear if anyone was hurt. The incident is under investigation. A teen is fighting for their life right now after being shot at a high school football game. It happened last night in Jacksonville, just minutes before the game ended. No word tonight on a suspect or motive on the shooting. No one else was hurt in this incident.
A Republican congressman says he's concluded President Trump has committed, quote, impeachable conduct. Michigan Representative Justin Amash posted his comments on Twitter. He says Attorney General William Barr deliberately misrepresented Mueller's report. Amash added few members of Congress have read the report. A number of Democrats have called for impeachment proceedings against the president, but many Republicans agree with President Trump's views on the Mueller report and defend his conduct. Rejecting the call to be an angry nominee, Joe Biden kicks off his campaign rally in Philadelphia today, where his campaign headquarters is located. The former vice president energized his base by taking aim at President Trump. The Nightbeat's Weijia Zhang has the story.
Look, the reason we're here is because in a literal sense, this was the birthplace of our democracy.
There's another reason former Vice President Joe Biden is setting up shop in Philadelphia, where he held his first campaign rally today. Voters in the heavily Democratic city could make all the difference in determining who wins Pennsylvania in 2020, a precious battleground state that helped propel President Trump to victory.
I know how to make government work. Not because I've talked or tweeted about it, but because I've done it.
A new Quinnipiac University poll shows Biden leading the pack of Democrats in Pennsylvania, with the president trailing several of them, including Biden, 53% to 42%. Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren also top Mr. Trump.
Pocahontas, that's another beauty. She's doing really well so far, isn't she?
Warren is just one of President Trump's many targets.
The worst mayor in the United States is now running for president.
He bashed New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, who became the 24th Democrat to enter the presidential race, a near record. The president often attacks Biden, too, who he calls sleepy and creepy. Since announcing his bid, the former vice president has focused on Mr. Trump.
The single most important thing we have to accomplish is defeat Donald Trump.
President Trump is planning to hold a campaign rally in Williamsport, Pennsylvania on Monday. He'll likely remind supporters there that they made a tremendous difference in 2016 when they helped turn many Democratic strongholds red.
And Boeing admitted it knew about a flaw in its 737 MAX flight simulator. The company says the simulator doesn't reproduce some flight conditions, including the ones that led to the crash of Ethiopian Airlines flight ET-302 on March 10th. That's according to the Financial Times. A preliminary crash report found the pilots were flying too fast and were not able to overcome the anti-stall system as it drove the plane's nose down.
Wink News, the weather authority.
Well, we didn't see much rain today, but better rain chances in store for tomorrow. Still isolated. We'll take a closer look coming up.
And preparing for hurricane season, Wink News holds a hurricane conference. We'll run down the highlights next.
And he may be the Terminator, but one person decided to take on Arnold Schwarzenegger. How the actor is doing tonight.
It's not hurricanes, but rain, hail, and tornadoes the central U.S. is dealing with this weekend. From Texas to southern Minnesota, more than 70 million people are under the threat of severe weather. Since Friday morning, more than 34 tornadoes have been reported from Oklahoma to Texas.
We got a lot of water. It took part of the roof off, and there's damage in the backyard.
The National Weather Service says too much rain too quickly is raising flooding concerns in areas already heavily saturated. Round 2 is around the corner. The National Weather Service says yet another potential significant storm is highly likely across the plains early next week. And check out this tornado. It happened last night in Mineola, Kansas. The storm chasers say the twister hit a mobile home before moving east and knocking down a series of power lines and sparking a grass fire. Luckily, no one was seriously hurt or killed.
A dramatic sight in New York City Times Square. An electronic billboard goes up in flames. Firefighters say the fire didn't spread to the building the billboard is connected to. No one was hurt. There's no word yet on what caused the fire.
It was simple for the Florida Everblades tonight. Win, you play another game at home. Lose, and you don't play at all, at least not until next October. Hear from Brad Ralph after the game. Also, Joe Cox and Michael Downing, your teammates and friends now. So what isn't always like that? Sports is next.
Now, from Southwest Florida's news leader, this is Wink News at 11.
And this man in jail tonight after live streaming his own crime inside a Walgreens in Pinellas Park. Ryan Greenlee is facing a long list of charges after police say he hit a newborn in the head with a box. The Nightbeat's Nicole Gerges talked with the child's mother.
It's a confrontation live streamed on Facebook from the suspect, Ryan Greenlee himself.
Go now. Yeah, get him out.
Things got really out of hand when Greenlee went to go buy 2 packs of beef jerky, but he didn't have enough money.
Goodbye. I'm calling the cops. Here's your money. Go.
What you don't see is the newborn baby hit in the head by Greenlee, but you can hear her.
He grabbed his arm and he swiped a box off the counter, and she was just at the right level. It hit her right in the face.
Greenlee arrested for child abuse, felony battery, even battery on a law enforcement officer. No mugshot, though, because right now he's in the healthcare wing of the jail.
And I was just so angry that I didn't even cry. I was just trying to be as level-headed as I could.
Greenlee kept recording as police say he assaulted an employee after he got in the car laughing. His own friend even saying he took it too far.
That's not funny, bro. You just do nothing. That's not funny. All I do is get out to go to the store, bro.
And police say this is a reminder not to get in the way of people who are being belligerent.
2 Broward County school employees are accused of abusing students, and parents throughout the district find out through a robocall that went out to everyone. The district says the robocall was only supposed to go out to a few parents. The issue? Special needs students being cursed at and forced to endure aggressive behavior from a teacher and teacher's aide. The parents of those students say the behavior has been going on for months.
See what that school did. See what those teachers did, and see what they hid for so long.
The teacher and teacher's aide were reassigned. The parents say they want to see them fired. The district is apologizing for sending the robocall to everyone.
And this Miami Gardens woman now the focus of a statewide search. The mother of two was last seen on Wednesday. Camilla Russell reported to work Wednesday at Miami-Dade County Schools and later to a family member's house, but that's the last anyone ever saw of her. Family members say they have texted her but have not gotten a response. Police say she is driving a 2014 black Audi A6 with tags HBQJ20.
Talk about a big oops. Walt Disney World is misspelled on a fountain in Celebration. You can see it says Wald with a D instead of Walt. The misspelling is the talk of the town. People were spotted taking photos of the sign. The fountain has been under construction for about 4 months. Apparently no one caught this. The town of Celebration has not commented.
Always spell check. Well, this high school football coach being called a hero tonight. Witnesses say he tackled a gunman in an Oregon classroom. They say Keenan Lowe ran towards the student with a gun before anyone could get hurt. Police say the student gunman walked into the school around noon on Friday, and that's when Lowe attacked him. He played college football and was a coach in the NFL. Students say they were impressed by his action.
He really cares about us, so I'm not surprised. He's a great guy, and he always makes us do our best, so I believe that he's just doing what he had to do.
And the gunman was taken into custody without a problem. The school isn't letting this incident stop it from holding any activities. The prom, which is set for tonight, is still going on.
Tonight, new details about a mother and daughter accused of murdering a pregnant Chicago teen before cutting her baby out of her stomach. Investigators say 46-year-old Clarissa Figueroa and her daughter Desiree distracted Marlene Ochoa Lopez with photo albums of their late son and brother before strangling her. Ochoa Lopez was 9 months pregnant when she disappeared last month. They say the two lured her to the suspect's home using social media and the promise of baby items.
And they talk to Desiree for a while, and they're able to kind of solicit from Desiree, well, where's your mom at? And then they continue to talk to her, and Desiree says, well, my mom also did just deliver a baby.
Ochoa Lopez's family say they want justice for their only daughter. Figueroa and her daughter, along with the mother's boyfriend, are all being held without bond.
A Georgia man upset about a recent racist robocall he's received. It stems from a woman accused of deadly shooting of a black man and after witnessing a crash.
On May 8th, a 21-year-old white American, Hannah Payne, tried to hold a male Negro accountable to the standards of actual humans.
The call claims she shouldn't be cast as a criminal. The call originated from a white supremacist group called the Road to Power. The suspect and district attorney admit they can't believe such calls are going out. The people receiving them just say they want them to stop.
What astonishes me is that they really think people, or that many people, are really that stupid. I called the FCC. They were worth 2 dead flies mashed. And so all they could do is tell me what they couldn't do.
And the group responsible for the calls is not commenting on it. It is believed the Idaho-based group may now be operating out of Montana.
An 8-year-old boy now faces months of medical treatments after he was stabbed with a needle. It was left in the grass of an elementary school playground in New Mexico. As the Nightbeat's Chris McKee reports, the boy's mother hopes this serves as a valuable lesson for everyone, including the city of Albuquerque, where this happened.
The whole thing was just so frustrating.
Frustration is just one of the feelings that mother Amanda Armijo has after her 8-year-old son was stabbed with a needle on a school playground this week at Albuquerque's Tomasita Elementary.
We do send them to school thinking, oh, they're fine, and that's not the case.
It happened during the school's Wednesday lunch recess. Amanda says her son Kyle was playing with a football in the grass field when the ball hit the ground and Kyle went to grab it.
He tells me, Mom, I accidentally just went to go pick up the football and it got stuck in my hand. And I was like, what did?
It was a used hypodermic needle. Amanda took this photo of Kyle's hand showing a red mark on his palm. She says Kyle has a long road ahead, 6 months of harsh medication to make sure he doesn't contract a blood infection or another virus.
That's another thing that's really scaring me. How do I explain to my son if that does occur?
Amanda says she's upset someone would toss a needle in a place where hundreds of kids play.
That really worries me because I have two little ones, one that's about to start kindergarten.
But she says she's also upset with the school's response. They called Kyle's parents after it happened, but the school didn't call an ambulance to get Kyle immediate medical treatment.
Parents need to know what happens when you send your kids to school.
Amanda hopes sharing her family's story can be a lesson for other parents.
Make sure the campus is clean, and first and foremost, make sure the student is okay.
The school district says it knows it has a problem with needles and tries to address it on a daily basis. The city says it wants people to report any needles seen to the city's 311 hotline. More than 100 migrants from Texas are now in San Diego this weekend. It's all because border officials say their holding facility is well over capacity. Federal rules limit the amount of time migrants can be held to 20 days, and officials say the only way to adhere to that is if other facilities help with processing. Most of the migrants selected to travel are families. U.S. Border Patrol says migrants may also be sent to facilities in Detroit, Buffalo, and Miami in the future.
And the Terminator attacked while doing a public appearance in South Africa, and it's all caught on camera. Watch as a man does a flying kick into the back of Arnold Schwarzenegger. The 71-year-old was standing and doing some videos with children in Johannesburg when the man attacked him. The actor stumbles forward. The man was quickly grabbed by security. He wasn't hurt.
Wink News, the weather authority.
If you plan on boating on Sunday, expect a light chop in our bays and inland waterways. Absolutely beautiful for the morning. I'll tell you if we see rain for your afternoon.
In Hearts and Homes for Veterans, how one Southwest Florida veteran is helping get his brothers in arms into homes of their own.
A Mother's Day miracle, how one special mom ended up with nearly 1 million reasons to celebrate.
And helping out veterans in Southwest Florida, Donald Payton served in Vietnam, and now he's serving our retired soldiers in need. The Nightbeat's Melinda Lee shares how his charity is helping people get back off the streets and on their own feet.
To you or I, items like shaving cream, deodorant, and shampoo may be things we find around the house. But they're a luxury for veterans that pick them up at this Fort Myers warehouse. Some don't have a place to call home.
Because there's a lot of veterans out there, and I was fortunately or unfortunately involved in being homeless and really nowhere to turn. And when Don started this.
Donald Payton is the Vietnam veteran behind Hearts and Homes for Veterans. He started the charity because he saw soldiers struggling to readjust to life after service.
And I said something has to be done. Somebody needs to do something. And we tried to make them feel like people really care. Tried to give them a leg up.
What began as Payton giving out items from the back of his truck has now grown to many hands helping his nonprofit provide veterans with transportation, toiletries, furnishings.
We give them everything you see in your house. Beds, pots, pans, dishes.
To taking families off the streets and putting them into a house of their own.
It's a great thing when you see them finally get in the house. We just had a family with 5 children, and the mother was still nursing. And we got them in a house, and all the kids was coming up and hollering, we got a bed, we got a bed. So it's really rewarding.
Lifting veterans out of poverty. Melinda Lee, Wink News Now.
And Payne says he plans to add counseling services to uplift veterans in need. If you know an inspiring person's story, send us a message on the Wink News app.
A North Carolina woman is now $1 million richer, and it couldn't have happened on a better day, Mother's Day. Vilka Roman got a Cash 5 ticket from her sister. She didn't know she was a winner until she checked her numbers a few days later. Realizing they had won, they rushed to the lottery office to claim their lump sum prize of $958,000.
Really? It's real?
I'm not even thinking about it, really.
I wasn't sure.
She has a heart of gold. She's going to help out the family. We're going to pay off the house completely, pay off a car.
Vilka and her fiancé plan to live well, but simply by helping Vilka's sister, children, and themselves to a happiness that money can't buy. Well, this photo is going viral for its meaning. It shows a California woman in the strawberry fields with her family. They're celebrating her accomplishments as a college graduate and beyond. Erica Alfaro is the daughter of farmers workers. She says she overcame multiple obstacles to get her master's in education. Her parents were uneducated. She had to learn English at 13. She was a teen mother, and she survived domestic violence.
I just decided to keep going because I wanted to prove myself wrong, all my doubts. I wanted to show myself and show my son that it was possible.
Alfaro hopes to be a high school counselor to help underrepresented students on their educational journeys.
And this Texas high school senior is celebrating more than just getting his diploma. He is now cancer-free. Joshua Suarez was diagnosed with stage 4 testicular cancer in 2016. The teen was rushed to surgery and immediately pulled out of school and put on chemotherapy, going through roughly 11 rounds of chemo a week. Suarez's mother is a cancer survivor, and his late aunt also had lung cancer.
Whatever God has in plan for me, I accept. If it's to fight, I'm fighting to the end. But if it's not, then I'm ready to go.
And Suarez says after all he's been through, he is getting ready to get his diploma on May 25th. Suarez says he plans to double major in art and pre-med at Albee College next year. His goal is to become an oncologist so he can help other cancer patients.
Let's get that final check of weather.
Well, it's important to note that the average high temperature this time of year is now 90. So when we see many 90s across the board, unfortunately, this is how it's supposed to feel for this time of year. 91 tomorrow, 90 for Monday, 91 for Tuesday. Can see a few storms tomorrow afternoon and even on Monday. And we see most of Monday's storms mainly inland. We will see plenty of dry air, though, late in the week. And that's when temperatures really begin to soar back in the low to mid-90s, especially through Memorial Day weekend next weekend. So, guys, looks like the heat is on. Large area of high pressure moves in. So would you rather have the rainfall every single day, or would you rather have the heat and the sunshine?
Can I get neither?
Yeah, we usually get both, right?
Plane ticket.
There you go.
That's the only way at this point of the year.
Yeah, it is pretty toasty out there.
And I can't believe, I mean, every day is pretty much almost the exact same temperature, but one day can feel completely different.
Oh, it depends on humidity all the time.
All the humidity. All right, that's where we're living now, in the heat.
Well, thanks for watching. For more news, make the switch over to Wink News at 11 on Wink TV. We'll see you over there.